guys, carrying another movie for you guys. Now, of course, this is going to be another installment of my Own It, Never Falking Seen It reviews, and this time, this movie reviewing, this is a movie that I have been wanting to watch for quite a while now. Ever since I've gotten this Blu-ray, I've really been contemplating whether or not I'm ever really going to watch this movie. I got it back in 2013. It's just been sitting on my shelf ever since, much like most of these reviews that I've been saying. But seriously, this is one I've been wanting to watch for a very long time now, and finally I have, and that, of course, is the 2013 survival thriller film, Captain Phillips. Now, like I said, Captain Phillips, this is a film that I was very interested in for a couple reasons. One, of course, because of the cast and the premise, but also because of the fact of the premise. I don't usually love movies like this. I don't. I think that the situation is terrible. I think that things like that, are just devastating to watch, but I tend to get very, kind of like one and done with these, and I also, wasn't sure if I was really gonna like it. I've heard some people say, oh, the movie's boring, it's not that interesting, so I really didn't know how this was gonna be. I don't tend to be, these are not my kind of films. You guys know this, like war films and things like that are not my kind of films, but this is a film I definitely was very interested in, and thank God I watched it, because to be honest with you guys, Captain Phillips was better than I ever could have imagined. I absolutely loved this movie. This movie is extremely intense. It went to some really dark directions that I really didn't expect it to go, and in general is one of the best of its kind. I really did love this film. But let's get to the plot of Captain Phillips. So the plot of this movie is pretty simple, but the movie is anything but simple. Basically, we focus on this ship crew, basically, and we have this character named Captain Phillips, and he is the commanding officer for the ship, the Alabamas. Basically, they're this ship, and they seem to be functioning well. Everything's kind of going great. He's just taking command of it, and it's this container ship and everything, and they're sailing through Kenya, basically. And along the way, they end up tracking these Somalian pirates. They run into them, and they try to make this as controlled a situation as possible. These Somalian pirates obviously want to take them hostage, but things get a lot more intense once they directly threaten Captain Phillips, and that's really all I'm going to say. But let's just get into this movie, starting off with the cast. Now, for a film like this, the cast, I really did not know how they're really all going to be. Aside from Tom Hanks, I really think everyone, I didn't really know what to expect. And I have to say, I think everyone honestly did a great job. I can't really think of a performance in this movie that I really did not love. Let's get into Tom Hanks, because holy shit, I mean, the dude is just such a recognizable actor at this point, but he's also one of the finest of our time. I think he's one of those actors that still churns out amazing performance after amazing performance, and he really does care about the work. Like, I don't think Tom Hanks just does a film to do a film. I think he really does try to put as much effort into it as possible, and honestly, this is my favorite performances from him. I really loved this character of Captain Phillips. Now, he's not really a character because it is based on a true story, but I really love what Hanks did with the character. I mean, he really did channel as much emotion as he possibly could, and you get the sense that Phillips is very good at what he does. Like, he's trying to be very controlled, and he's really in a very difficult situation here where, I mean, half of his passengers' lives are on the line, and he very well knows that. So for him to try to keep calm, I mean, it could have gone really badly, and I think Hanks does a really good job with playing a slightly, not restrained isn't the word, but a captain who really knows what he's doing. He's really trying to stay calm throughout this whole situation, and I thought he was definitely really good there. And in the third act of the movie, things get really crazy with him, and he just went full out. I mean, his emotion, you really are feeling everything. When this character starts to get involved in, the pirates and everything and what they end up doing to him, I mean, you are just as scared as he is. You're just as terrified as he is, and I really was with him the entire time. And you honestly don't know what's going to happen to Captain Phillips, and I think Hanks just did such a great job in channeling that role. Again, he's an actor that's extremely recognizable, but he always puts 110% into pretty much everything he does, and this film, look no further. I mean, this is one of his best performances I think he's done this decade. I really did love what he did here, and I think he really did make this movie as great as it was. If he wasn't in, I don't think the movie would be nearly as great, and he really was fantastic. But as good as Hanks was, the rest of the cast, like I said, it was very up in the air with. I didn't really know what we were going to get out of them. Luckily, everyone else here is magnificent. I think everyone really did do a great job, particularly our main villain here, Barkhad Abdi. This dude, oh my god, this guy was intimidating. I mean, this guy, you really do dislike him, but at the same time, you kind of do feel for him. The movie does a really good job in the first few minutes of really exploring these Somalian pirates and why they want to take hostage. You know, they don't really have a lot in their life. They don't really have the best clothes. They don't have the finest technology. I mean, they really are dirt poor, and obviously, they want to be able to get money and things like that, and they want to do that by taking these people hostage. Now, you're not, obviously, the movie's not condoning what they did, but it's just trying to rationalize that. And not only did the movie get us to really fear these guys, who, may I add, most of them, this was their first movie. And I'm shocked that it really was, because these guys really did feel like actual Somalian pirates. And that's mainly because most of them are actual Somalian actors, which they really did a brilliant job with casting. But particularly, like I said, Barkhad Abdi did a really great job in playing this really menacing figure who's just so determined, and he'll do anything he can to take stock of the ship. And he doesn't care what he has to do. If he has to kill, he'll do it. If he has to steal something, he'll do it. He will do whatever he can to make sure that his people are victorious. And I really did love that determination in it, especially when you combine that with Hanks's determination of trying to keep things so controlled and protect his people. These two clashing just work so well together. They're such two different kind of forces, but they're also very similar, and the way the movie did that, I thought was actually really well done, and I really did love what they did with this actor. I'm not entirely sure if he got anything. I definitely think he should have been nominated, because he was just incredible in this movie. I loved what, actually he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and it's no secret why. I mean, again, this was his first movie, and he did an incredible job here. I love what he did in this film. He's gotten some really great work since, but this film really did help propel him forward, and now he's going to be in the new Blade Runner film, and you can really see why he is. He really is a fantastic actor. He did a really great job here, and I can't wait to see what else he does further down the line, because he really did blow me away. And then the only other actor I really do want to talk about is Barkhad Abdurrahman, I think is how you pronounce his name, as Bilal. I really did enjoy this character, actually. I thought this is, you know, this young child on the ship who immediately Phillips is, you know, kind of sympathizing with, because he can tell this child, he's in this situation where he's being told to do a lot of these terrible things that he really doesn't want to do, but at the same time, Phillips is more concerned about the fact that he's not really wearing any shoes, and he really does want to help him, and there's some really great bonding between him, as well as Michael Chernus's character, Shane Murphy. He really does bond with this little kid as well, and I thought they definitely did a really good job with that. The rest of the shipping crew as well, I actually really did like. I thought they all really did a great job. We really don't get to know these characters, but for a film like this, I can see why. They didn't really need to develop these characters that well. I thought overall they really did do a great job, and like I said, in terms of acting, there really wasn't anyone that I didn't like here. So now let's get to the directing and the writing, because holy shit, I mean, the reason this movie is so good as Hanks is, and as good as I think Barkhad Abdi is, the reason this movie worked out as well as it did is because of Paul Greengrass, who is just the man when it comes to these kind of films. I mean, he is known for being the only director to use shaky cam correctly, and he really does here. And the reason it works is because this is such a chaotic situation, and he makes you feel like you're right on that ship with them, like you're trying to get rid of these pirates and do whatever you can to survive, and the way that he directed that is just so thrilling. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat basically throughout this entire movie, and there really was not a scene where I wasn't worried for, you know, I wasn't worried for the crew, and I wasn't worried for Phillips. I was always worried for these characters, and they really do a great job establishing that tone throughout the film. But what I was even more impressed with Greengrass, that he didn't just make this a straight-up thriller. He does go into some really emotional territory, and he really isn't afraid to get into the emotional core and show what Phillips really did go through. And I think the third act of this movie, I was almost on the verge of tears. I mean, it was really, really satisfying emotionally. but also is hard to watch at points. Just knowing that the situation actually did happen, and the way that it is unpredictable, I thought was definitely very well handled. It's a film where if you watch it, don't look up what actually happened. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't look up what actually happened, because it is genuinely thrilling not knowing what is going to happen to Phillips and if he really is going to get out of the situation. And for me, not knowing any of that, I'm very glad I went into this very unaware of what actually went down. And I'm glad that that happened, because I think it made the movie so much more worthwhile, withholding that knowledge for myself. But the screenplay in this as well is surprisingly very well constructed, because, like I said, this is such a thrilling film. I really was surprised with how great the story really was here. Because, again, they really do get into, okay, these are who the pirates are. This is why they're in this situation. And I thought that was something they really handled very well. And the story in general is very riveting. I mean, at some points, you're not really rooting for the pirates, but you can understand why they want to do this. And you can understand that they are human too, and why they actually are in this situation. But at the same time, you're obviously rooting for Phillips for most of the movie. And I thought that, again, was just really well handled. The movie never really loses focus of who it wants you to root for, and that's something I really did like, is that it was pretty much straightforward, but it was very emotional in that sense. And again, the screenplay in general, I really did love the story to this film. It's very hard, and it's a very, it's a very hard-hitting story, but it is very sadly true. There are people out there like this, and there are definitely areas in Africa where they are suffering, and they do want to do whatever they can, and they are savages in every way, but you can understand why they do that. This movie really does make notes of this is why these people are this way. They're not just this way because they want to be savages. No, they're just determined. They want to be able to have a decent life, and that's something that I think Phillips kind of does understand here, and I thought that was something that was just really well handled. Some of my favorite scenes in this movie, honestly, are Phillips just trying to talk to the crew, trying to show them how to handle this. I mean, some of the crew, they're just ready to attack immediately. Like, obviously, they just want to go in there and just kill all these pirates, but Phillips really doesn't want to do that. He knows that they're just adding fuel to fire that way, and the way that this really does escalate, I thought was really well handled. The way it really goes from this very minute situation where, oh, there are these pirates, we can steer away, and it just builds and builds and builds as it goes on, I thought was extremely well handled. And the story in general, I really did get into here. The cinematography in this movie is just incredible. Like I said, you really do feel like you're on this ship with them. And I believe this was actually filmed in Somalia. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Like I said, most of these actors were of Somalian descent. So I'm pretty sure that this was actually filmed in Somalia, and you really do feel that. I mean, like I said, the action, it really is propelling off the screen. I thought the cinematography really did add to the film, and it's really thrilling. I mean, there are just some incredible shots in this movie of Somalia, and there's some really hard-hitting shots as well. Some things are definitely going to be embedded in my mind for a while, and I thought the cinematography was great here. Also, the score. I loved the score to this movie. I thought it was extremely intense. I thought it really did go with the tumultuous nature of the film, and I thought there was something that really did work out fairly well. I definitely loved the way that was done. And the movie was actually nominated for the sound mixing. It definitely does deserve that, because it is a very loud movie, and the sound really is a big part of this film, because, like I said, of how tumultuous and just how crazy of a situation this really is. You can understand why that is. I thought there was definitely something that was very well handled in the way that was, portrayed here. I definitely really did enjoy that. And then the editing to this film, for me, my only real complaint in this movie, besides the fact that I didn't really get to know the crew, is that I did feel the film was just a tad too long. In the first act of the movie, there were some scenes that did drag on a bit, and I was kind of like, all right, can we just get into the situation? Once we got into the situation, though, I was completely on board. I really was enjoying I wasn't enjoying what I was seeing, I'm going to say, but I was definitely very invested in what was going on, and from there, the movie really did hold my interest. Overall, guys, Captain Phillips is a very, very satisfying, very hard-hitting film that at times is very hard to watch, but in general is just a very thrilling movie that I definitely do recommend. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was not boring at all. I was really into it basically the entire time, and especially the direction it takes at the end of the movie, I thought was really ballsy, honestly. Like, they do this thing with this one character, and I thought it was actually a really ballsy direction where they went with it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it actually had happened. Now, there is a fraction of this movie that they did omit some stuff, and the actors have admitted that they did omit some stuff from this film, but I think that overall worked in the film. There really wasn't anything that happened that I didn't feel was unrealistic in any way. I absolutely love this movie, and I'm definitely going to give Captain Phillips a 4.5 out of 5 or an A minus. So, over, guys, my review, Captain Phillips. I don't know what you guys thought of this movie overall. Left your thoughts in it. I really did love this movie a lot more than I thought it was going to. But now, guys, let's get into what movie I'm going to be reviewing next.
Alright guys, so as usual, here are the list of films that I'll be reviewing, and now I'm going to click randomize. And here we go. Looks like the next film I'm going to be reviewing, Temple of Doom. I'm not going to be reviewing the Indiana Jones films right now, so we're going to hold off on that. The next film I'm going to be reviewing apparently is Oblivion with Tom Cruise from 2013, so definitely look forward to that.
So, guys, definitely look forward to that in the next few days, but that's going to be held off for a while. I know Captain Phillips, again, was held off for a while, but as you guys know, there are a lot of summer movies that are coming out this month, particularly some that I have not seen the originals of. So the next few reviews are actually going to be for that. I will be reviewing Prometheus in the next few days. I don't really know when that's going to come up, but I'm planning on seeing Alien Covenant this week. And then after that, guys, the thing that I'm actually most excited about is, I told you guys this before, one of my biggest goals for 2017 was to do more collab reviews. I really enjoy doing them. I feel like you can get a lot more from my guests. You know, you don't have to just hear my voice. You can hear other opinions and, you know, just the contrast and that stuff. I really do love, and I really do enjoy doing collab stuff and things like that. So something I'm very excited about is, as you guys know, the Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales, is coming out this week. So in anticipation of that, me and my guest, 22 Tiger Dude, will be reviewing each of the Pirates films, basically all week. We're going to try to get them out for this week. If not, we might have to prolong it into the second week, but either way, we will be reviewing all four of them. The first one will be on my channel, the second one on his, third one on mine, fourth one on his, and then the fifth one we'll obviously review separately, but definitely look forward to that, guys. And then after all of that, then I will get to Oblivion, but I just wanted to get to these films before I can do that, so definitely look forward to all those reviews in next coming days. But either way, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie overall. Left your thoughts in it. And we'll see you guys in my next video, which I don't know what it's going to be for yet, but I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.